Do you find that no matter how carefully you plan your budget, you always end up spending more than you planned? Or perhaps your budget still doesn't feel appropriate despite the hours you spent sitting down to create it? Even though budgeting seems like it should be easy, a lot of common mistakes are still made all the time. Don't worry anymore, because you're in the right place to find out your mistakes and fix them. Welcome to Abonvi. In today's video, we're going to talk about the 10 most common budgeting mistakes people make and how you can fix them. So stick to the video, keep watching, and let's dive in. Number 1. Setting unrealistic goals. It's easy to set big goals and promise to spend less, but it's hard to keep your word month after month. Making a budget that isn't realistic and calls for big changes in lifestyle or a sudden influx of cash is a rookie mistake. What should you do? Build your budget slowly, 1 month at a time. If you want to save more, try to put away just 2% more than you did last month. Step by step, increase the amount you save each month until you reach your savings goal. Number 2. Forgetting to factor in rising prices. In the past, it might have worked to use last year's budget as a guide for this year's. But with gas prices, housing costs, and other costs going up at record rates, it's easy to underestimate how much money you need to save in a certain category. What should you do? Do a quick search online or look at your most recent credit card statement to find out what prices are like now. When estimating costs for the next few months, you should only use the most recent numbers. And don't forget that it's never a bad idea to overestimate your costs a little bit. Then, cut what needs to be cut. Number 3. Making your plan too rigid. Maybe you used to drive to work, but now that gas prices are higher, you take the train instead. Or maybe you just moved to a new place where living costs are different. No matter what, a budget that is set in stone and assumes that this month will be the same as the last will quickly become useless. What should you do? Leave room for changes if costs go up or down by adding a miscellaneous line item. Check your budget often to make sure it still reflects how you spend your money and how much you make. Number 4. Doing it alone. You're ready to get out of debt and be financially free, but is your family? When making a budget, it can be hard to go it alone if other people in your household are ruining all your good habits by spending too much. What should you do? Talk about money with your spouse, partner, kids, or roommates. Get everyone in your household involved in making a budget and take the time to look at your progress to keep everyone on track. Number 5. Not using online tools. If you've always used the same budgeting method, you might be missing out on ways to track expenses, sync accounts, and get payment reminders that are easier to use. What should you do? If a pen and paper aren't helping you make a budget, it's time to get some new tools. Try getting a budgeting app or use a budgeting spreadsheet template that takes care of a lot of the hard work for you. Number 6. Not putting purchases you didn't plan for in your budget. You know more about yourself and how you spend your money than anyone else. If you like to take last-minute trips or add things to your shopping cart right before you pay, ignoring these habits and hoping they'll go away when you're budgeting is a sure way to fail. What should you do? If you tend to buy things on the spur of the moment, don't try to break the habit. Instead, just plan for it. Make a line item in your budget just for buying things on a whim. This way, you can still enjoy shopping without going over your budget. Number 7. You don't account for every expense. Another budgeting mistake to avoid is leaving things out of your plan. Let's say you're planning a family reunion. In the past, you might have paid for one-time expenses like transportation or lodging by squeezing them in. But if you don't plan for these costs in your budget, you might have to cut back on other things or not reach other goals. What should you do? As your life changes, so will your spending habits. To avoid this budgeting trap, make sure you always update your plan and add your new expenses. Look over your budget. Figure out ahead of time how much you need to save for any future expenses that don't fit into your usual spending patterns. It can take time and practice to think of every possible expense, but it will be worth it to keep your budget as accurate as possible. You can also start an emergency fund to help pay for things that come up out of the blue. Number 8. Planning a strict budget. Even though it's good to have a budget that is accurate, it's a budgeting mistake to have one that is too strict. As you try to cut things out, your willpower may start to weaken. There's even a thing called frugal fatigue. Just like you can't diet too much or do other extreme things forever, you can't stick to a super tight budget for a long time without getting tired of it. Long periods of being limited can make you lose motivation and wear you out. People tend to give in to the stress of trying to be perfect after a while. If you are very strict with how you spend, you could end up going on a spending spree. What should you do? Celebrate financial milestones. Celebrate what you've done to avoid getting tired of saving money and making this common budgeting mistake. Of course, you don't want to do anything so extravagant that hurts your finances, but you should leave room in your budget to reward yourself when you make financial progress. It could be as easy as buying your favorite ice cream when you reach a certain savings goal. Number 9. Keeping up with friends. If your friends are always eating out, going out at night, or making spending decisions at the last minute, it can be hard to stay on track with your budget. If you want to save money and don't want to lose out on all the enjoyment, it will never be successful. What should you do? Tell your friends about your financial concerns. If they really care about you and what you want, they'll understand and be willing to give in sometimes. Also, suggest something that is more in your price range, where you can spend time with your friends and it won't break the bank. Number 10. Not having a budget at all. The biggest mistake you can make with a budget is, of course, not making one at all. Everyone needs a budget, and in order to make changes, you need something to change. A budget shows you how things are right now and gives you the confidence you need to move forward with that next investment you were planning to make. Just like the saying, failing to plan is planning to fail. Not making a budget can lead to a lack of savings, less financial security, spending that gets out of hand, a higher chance of going into debt, and even more financial stress. What should you do? Even a simple guess of your income and expenses for the year can help a lot. If making a budget seems too hard, take it easy and just keep track of your biggest bills, like your rent, credit card bill, and grocery bill, instead of making a line item for everything type of spending. Conclusion: a budget is just an attempt to figure out how much money you make and how much you spend, but it's never perfect. Emergencies happen, job titles change, and rising inflation can cause costs to go up more than expected. All of these things can throw off a budget. Even though it's important to be flexible, digging into the small details of your budget and learning to plan around external economic factors can help you see your financial future as clearly as possible. That's it for today. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.